I'm Zach Snyder.
And I'm Aden Matthews.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast. What's up, shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
Welcome to episode 15. The 15th episode.
15. We've been doing this for a little while now.
I know. Me and Zach were like, all right, what episode are we on? Zach guesses 11, and I guessed like 13, and both of us were wrong.
Yeah.
That's how long we've been doing this. We're like, oh, another one? Stop.
Another YouTube podcast. Come on.
Please. Please stop.
So this week we're going to be talking about Let's Plays.
The future of gaming content on YouTube, everybody.
I mean, honestly, let's be honest here.
And before all you people who listen to our podcast who don't do Let's Plays, who are going to be like, oh, cool, I can skip this episode, right? I don't do Let's Plays at all. We're going to get you a little bit of bonus value in here. Talk about stuff you can use in your own videos, like commentary and editing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Let's Plays are easy to make. Right. However, they're only easy to make once you've learned how to make a video.
Right. If you know how to make a Let's Play, you know how to make a video, and hey, we're all about videos on this podcast here. So
exactly.
There's going to be some stuff for everybody to learn, whether you're the Let's Player, the Let's Play watcher, or the guy who doesn't care about Let's Plays. So stay tuned. Don't worry. We're not going to leave you out to dry.
Exactly. But of course, before that, we've got to do our favorite segment, your favorite segment, your mother's favorite segment of another YouTube podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Your week on YouTube trademark. Let's talk about it.
My week on this wonderful platform.
Yeah, sometimes.
Known as YouTube. Sometimes. Depends on the week, really. Have I done anything this week? It's a little bit different. It's hard to say.
I agree.
This week was a little bit more productive for me in particular. I streamed some F-Zero X. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last episode or not, but I'll mention it here. I got a couple more episodes of Let's Play F-Zero. I believe episodes 2 through 5 have come out this week. Episode 1 was last one, I believe. I don't know. But a lot of those have come out. There's about a few more episodes of that, and then the whole series is going to be finished tomorrow, the last day of February.
Nice.
So that series is wrapping up.
It's the last day of February tomorrow.
I know, right? February is weird like that. It's the only month that doesn't end on the 30th or the 31st. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, it goes a lot quicker, so,
it does.
You don't have to worry about it.
But
that will mean, once the F-Zero series is finished, that I will have gotten 2 Let's Plays done for the 2 months of 2018.
That's pretty good.
So that's cool.
It's always nice to have some accomplishments.
Some content out there.
Some kind of content, exactly.
I also got back into streaming some Ultra Sun. I hadn't streamed that game since, let's see. I'm going to go find it real quick.
I want to say December.
We're going to get the exact date. November 19th, 2017 was the last time I streamed Pokemon.
Wow.
So, yeah. That got 105 views, which is pretty good, considering I haven't been doing it in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
About 5 hours and 33 minutes. Got a bit more of that game done. And then that'll become more Let's Play parts in the future. So 2018 for me has been going all in on the Let's Plays. Aside from Kirby episodes and F-Zero episodes, the only videos I have are that stream, the Amazing Bronze Dagger video, which is just a meme, and 1 Questions on the Couch and 1 Blue Couch review.
Get Dustin DW got taken down.
That one got taken down, so I can't add that to the list. But
yeah
75% of my 2018 content consists of Let's Plays, which is weird because 2017 had maybe 10% of my channel focused on Let's Plays. A little bit more toward the end, but usually I was on the Midnight Vlog game or the Questions on the Couch game, and now I've just been doing Let's Plays here.
It's interesting because I remember you talking about you were so anti-Let's Play for a while.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious about
Still kind of am.
Okay.
But we'll get into it. I think what's just been helpful for me though, and the reason why I like doing them in particular is with college, kind of starting back up in January and me not having as much time as I used to.
Yeah.
As well as still wanting to do streams and having to deal with moving, having to deal with my pipe busting, having to deal with all this other stuff that keeps coming at me, right? That I have no control over. The Let's Plays are the one constant where I'm like, okay, even if everything goes wrong, I know for a fact F-Zero Episode 4 is coming out today. So I don't have to feel bad. It's better than nothing. They've been a reliable constant to me, and I'm very appreciative of that fact.
I get that. No, I get that completely.
Plus, I made out with the couch in one episode, so this sex appeal.
You made out with the couch. I have not watched that yet. I need to. I've only seen the first episode of the F-Zero Let's Play.
Episode 5. I make out with a couch.
That sounds,
quality content.
Quality.
But overall, a pretty good week on YouTube, aside from the Get Dusted DW video getting taken down. I'm going to find a way to get that back up.
I hope so.
Some way, somehow.
Because that was a funny meme. Cool.
But yeah, that was my week. A little bit of tweeting here and there. A little bit of hanging out here and there. A little bit of podcasting with Zach on other places. Yeah. But a pretty good week overall. How about yourself, though?
Dope. Well, we're still on this train where it's like, I haven't been nearly as productive as I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of upsetting because the beginning of January was just really good. It was good. Yeah. I got like half of January just worked out exactly like I wanted it to. And then I don't know what happened. I'm trying to I'm in this constant battle with myself between let me be content with not being able to get videos out every day, but also I really want to get videos on every day. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But I got some Let's Play stuff and some Versus stuff on the gaming channel edited this week. So I'm finally getting content back out over there now because I've been kind of not looking at that channel as much lately. Mm-hmm. I got another recap out last week, which is cool. And then I did probably the only thing that really notably happened this week was I did this mini rant. I was
yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, I was getting back from dinner and I was looking at some YouTube videos and came across a thing recommended to me talking about like how to get 1,000 subscribers. I was like, why you're not having 1,000 subscribers or whatever it is. And so I was like checking it out and it was the same YouTube advice you see on any one of these videos, which is
including this podcast.
Exactly.
Right.
It's very sound and reasonable advice that does help, but it's the same thing you hear everywhere. And if you've seen one, you've seen them all. So I made another video that was called Why You Don't Have 1,000 Subscribers. And basically, I boiled it down to you probably don't have 1,000 subscribers yet because you're not putting out enough videos. You're not working hard enough, which I still think to be true. And obviously, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so I'm talking to myself as well. But I've gotten I got a lot of. It hasn't gotten like a lot of views, but it's gotten a good decent amount of views that and some really nice comments and stuff. So that's been cool.
You know what my favorite part of the video is? Can you take a guess?
Which part?
The thumbnail, my boy.
The thumbnail, yeah.
The classic Roberto Blake contemplative thought thumbnail with the red background.
Yes.
Classic Roberto. I smelled it from a mile away. I was like, ooh, what is this? New Roberto Blake video? Psych. With Zack Snyder. And then when I heard you bring up him, I'm like, this makes all too much sense.
Yeah.
This all came together.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like branded as such as like one of those traditional YouTube help videos. And that was kind of the point. It's just kind of see,
it fit the vibe.
Exactly. But yeah, it turned out well. I really liked it. It wasn't a whole lot of production value put into it, but I felt like the message was there. I'm going to try to do more things like that, whenever I feel like I have something I want to talk about, just because it's just simple little things that, number one, it's easier for me to make. And number two, like, I think it can be helpful every once in a while.
Yeah. When you got the thought and you got the idea, go for it.
Exactly.
Don't ponder and, waste time on it. If the message is what's important, then you need to get the purest form of that out.
Exactly. Yeah.
If it's something like recap where it's like, the Deadpool recap doesn't need to have a message to it. It just needs to be like entertaining, visually speaking,
Exactly.
a little bit of commentary. Like that can wait, and that can have editing put into it. But like videos where it's just a message and a thought, the quicker the better, in my opinion.
I agree. I also like I worked a lot on a bunch of ideas this week. So there's like a lot of videos that are in like the pre-production phases, and like I've got to edit them and stuff. So I've got like, I want to say like 12 to 15 videos, just kind of like scripts are written, things are recorded, things are in editing process. It's just taking time to get that stuff finished. So that's been cool. And then I went to a movie festival this weekend, which it wasn't like anything big, but they played all of the Oscar Best Picture nominees for this year. And that was cool. I got to see like 8 movies, and it was fun. And I'm going to make a video about that, and I think that'll turn out really well. Hopefully it'll be received well.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Different. Yeah.
A little new, a little spicy.
Definitely. But that's been my week on YouTube. This upcoming week, I will be gone for like 4 days minimum. Well, like 3 days minimum, 5 days max, which means that I'm not going to be able to work on videos for like almost a week. So that kind of sucks.
Sure.
But it is what it is.
It's how it goes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But then spring break hits, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Now things get a little real.
Just a little bit.
I got like 4 school days, and not even 4, because tomorrow I'm off. So 3 left, and then spring break, boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a lot of series recorded and finished, so I have time to do cooler stuff.
That'll be cool. Yeah, I really want to get a lot of like gaming stuff done this week, just so that I don't have to worry about it. So I can have it ready to go and uploaded and just move on with my bigger stuff.
Got you.
Yeah. But speaking of gaming stuff, we're going to talk about Let's Plays today.
Yay! Transition.
Both of us have done Let's Plays for a while.
True.
It's kind of the thing that got, they kind of got both of us into YouTube, I'm assuming. A little bit.
Yes. Yeah, that was my thing. At least starting out anyway.
Right. And I mean, it's commonly done. It's like done all over the place on YouTube. And that's for better or for worse. We can talk about that. I kind of
Zach.
Yeah, go ahead.
What even is a Let's Play? I've been living under a rock for a while. What is this new hip thing everybody's been doing? Called the Let's Play.
Well, a Let's Play is for the best definition I can give, is a video of somebody playing a video game and providing funny, entertaining, or educational, or not educational, but helpful commentary over the video game.
True. And there's obviously many a variation on that formula with like webcams, co-op channels, group channels, like all sorts of stuff. And then, there's like 8,000 Let's Play channels out there. If there's not something weird and new being done with the Let's Play like every day, you'll figure out about it.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Let's Play started out in forums, and it was interesting because they weren't videos at first. They were screenshots.
Right.
This is back in like 2003, I think. But then certain popular Let's Players, like Nintendo Capri Sun, which is one of the guys that got me into Let's Playing. He actually used to Let's Play before YouTube ever was a thing, like in the 80s. He would like record himself like playing games. So it's pretty cool. It's a popular pastime, and it's only getting bigger, which is kind of crazy.
You said popular pastime, like it's like America's favorite sport like baseball, like America's pastime.
Yeah, it's close.
YouTube's favorite pastime, everybody, the Let's Play. Everybody's done it before. You've probably done it before. If you haven't done it before, try it out.
Yeah, you might enjoy it.
Yeah, you never know.
I feel like, so here's the thing with Let's Plays these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a little controversial now because they're not unique anymore. And I mean, you can do certain unique things with it, but at the end of the day, like a Let's Play is a Let's Play.
Right.
And I find myself not watching them nearly as often as I used to the point where it's like, maybe I'll watch a Let's Play like a couple times a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that rare for me to like indulge in that kind of entertainment now, just because there's so many other video formats on the platform that I enjoy more. So I feel like, when it comes to Let's Plays, they're almost this disposable entertainment. And if you're not understanding that, you're probably not going to be able to like be as successful with the medium, if that makes any sense.
I think that's a safe assumption to make, Yeah. It's very, very easy to say.
Mm.
Were you going to ask me a question earlier before I cut you off?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that question was going to be. Well, okay.
Calling them out.
Here, what do you, like, when it comes to Let's Plays, like, how do you think a channel can be popular or successful? I'll say successful because that means different things to different people. Do you think a channel can be successful off of Let's Plays in 2018?
Ooh. In 2018? That's
Yes.
Interesting. I know for a fact I've seen Let's Play channels come out of nowhere and grow in 2016.
Right.
Which is still fairly recent. Like, not, not 2018, obviously, but fairly recent. The example that I'm using here in particular is Super Mega, which literally made their channel on January 19th, 2016. Only about 2 years old. Mainly has Let's Play content in there. Granted,
they had
with
a bit
podcasts,
of an advantage, though.
Yeah, with the Game Grumps connection, as well as like
Markiplier connection too.
Oh yeah,
they lived with Markiplier for like a year and a half, 2 years.
They, from looking back on all their stuff, like they've been on YouTube for a long time.
Yeah,
in one form or another.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But they also, don't just do Let's Plays too. A lot of their most well-watched stuff is their live action stuff, is their podcast stuff, things that go out of their way. The Let's Play stuff is just there and consistent. So that's one example of a channel kind of doing that. Another one in particular that I've been watching a lot recently is Oni Plays. I watched them a good bit. They're a bit different in the fact that the channel has existed since 2012, but didn't get popular until 2016.
Okay.
So it sat there for like a couple of years, got popular in 2016 because of the commentators on there that were just joining that year, Ding Dong and Julian. And then they had like a monster year, 2016 and 2017.
That's pretty cool.
So kind of, again, proving that it can be done.
Right.
But then again, you could also argue a little bit of advantage. Oni's this big animator, huge community of people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, kind of have a Game Grumps connection here, there as well, of using a lot of that setup and equipment and everything like that. And the people there are just funny people in general, too, so that helps a lot.
Right.
But I don't know. It can be done. I think it's a lot harder to in 2018 than it ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer your question, yes. Very slimly, yes.
Okay. I agree. I think that it can be done. I think that you have to have the basics down in terms of making videos. Like, you got to be able to make a video. If you're starting out fresh in 2018 and you're wanting to, have a popular Let's Play channel, and we're going to talk about exactly what it takes to do that, you're going to have to make sure that those basics are down and just like put out a shit ton of content for a long time.
Yeah.
In order to make it work.
Mm-hmm. You got to be committed. You got to be committed to your craft for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you even want like a shot in the dark.
Right. Which is Honestly, I think it's probably, I feel like it's a little comforting to know that like it is possible if you just put in like a lot of work when it comes to Let's Plays, because like what we'll find out is like once you've been doing Let's Plays for a few months, it's not that hard to make.
Sure. That's
So
safe to
it's
say.
yeah, so I mean as long as you enjoy doing it and you're able to like put out the videos on a daily basis, then you should be good. Should be good for a little while. But that doesn't mean that you're going to, get popular overnight or anything like that.
At least not in 2018.
Not in 2018, no.
Maybe in like 2012 or 2013 or any year before 2012, really.
For real.
for really talking about that stuff, like sort of golden era people coming up like that. That sort of thing is interesting here. Let's Plays for me are kind of broken up into two communities, I guess, when we're talking about like the timeline as far as that's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
We have group one of, kind of the early days of Let's Plays on YouTube, at least. I'm not going back to forum stuff. That'd probably be a whole nother group entirely.
Right.
As far as Let's Plays on YouTube are concerned, there are two groups of people that I look at.
Okay.
Group one, mainly focusing on gameplay above all else. And group two, focusing a lot on commentary above all else. And I think the thing that separates these two groups in particular, at least that's the trend I'm seeing. Again, there are exceptions to every rule, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But group one that focuses on gameplay a lot of the time are your older crowd of Let's Players, and the newer crowd seems to be leaning a lot more heavily onto commentary. Again, there are exceptions.
Right.
But from what I've seen and from all the channels I've watched, you kind of fit into one of those two groups 9 times out of 10. You may have a balance of both, but you're going to lean at least a little bit into one of those two camps.
I would agree. No, I would absolutely agree. I mean, you look at the older Let's Players that are still around, and what they're doing is they're doing full Let's Plays, full walkthroughs of games, and they may be entertaining. Absolutely. That's why people watch them. I think they're all, I think most successful Let's Players are entertaining. I think that's a fair assumption to say. Mm-hmm. But they're making sure that they play through an entire game if they're able, if the game is playable. Like that's just what it comes down to. While you've got a lot of the newer guys, they might only do one video for that game because they feel like that's all they need for that specific game.
And that used to be like an unspoken rule. You wouldn't dare make a Let's Play series and not finish it, right?
Right.
Like you better have had like a damn good reason. Like your computer better have died, your game console better have exploded, You couldn't find an emulator anywhere. Like you did not under any circumstance start a Let's Play and then leave it off and never finish it. Because viewers got frustrated, creators got frustrated, and it just wasn't seen as a good practice. In the 2012 era, the 2011, 2010, 2009, 2008. Nowadays, though, like we see so many popular channels that maybe will only do a game for one episode, maybe, or 2 or 3, regardless of how popular it is, and just leave it off. And maybe come back to it, like months down the line, or never at all. It's a coin flip. And I know that's
crazy.
And I know from talking to certain people who watch Let's Play since the beginning, like that can infuriate people. Like what people don't finish Let's Plays? What kind of madness is this? But rules change. The climate has changed. Let's Plays have been around so long that the rules and the standards by which they were set with have just evolved over time, along with YouTube as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's so weird living through, the early days of the Let's Play and seeing how it's evolved to now where like people like watching somebody that's just funny and they don't pay attention to the game. And that's kind of that's kind of what it comes down to these days is like, if you want to be big with gaming content or Let's Plays, specifically, like it kind of has to revolve around your personality, or you have to have like some kind of really good gimmick that's going to keep people coming every single time.
Yeah, some niche that separates you out from the pack, whether that's playing one game forever, which
Yeah.
people do, you know.
Yeah, they do.
Or maybe you just, you know, I don't know. There's so many different ways to go about it, I think.
I agree.
But you're right. You're right. The personality-driven stuff definitely has taken a lot more of a hold in recent years.
Yeah. So, I guess where we can start with Let's Plays, I would say go listen to our software episode where we talk about what kind of software you should use, because we do talk about like how to record video game stuff on there. Go listen to that. And then there's two main aspects to a Let's Play. 3 in some cases. There's the video, there's your audio, your mic audio, your commentary, and then if you want to be somebody with a face cam, there's the face cam.
Right. And all of those elements have to be synced up together in your editing software later down the line.
Right.
Which for many people who have never made a video before ever, that's the scary part.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they can record it fine and they can get all the individual clips, but when it comes to syncing it, they just have a whole world of trouble.
Mm-hmm. So once you figure out how to record everything that you need to record, and once you figure out what editing software you're going to use, what's the first thing you would kind of advise somebody that's trying to get into making Let's Plays?
I think early on, if you're just starting out making Let's Plays, at least in 2018 as far as that's concerned, is I really think it's important to find yourself a lot of the time. A lot of people, when they start out Let's Play channels, will typically try to follow a particular mold that's already been established and set out.
That's
so,
true.
for example, there's a lot of new Let's Play channels that will act like early day PewDiePie and, you know, just scream and get real loud. Which, you know, if you like watching that stuff, hey, that's cool. The problem is PewDiePie exists already. Yep. And no one's going to do it better than him. So there's that.
That is true. I agree. Yeah, it really is about being yourself.
It is. And I don't want to just rag on PewDiePie here because I've seen other copycat groups as well. I've seen the Chugger Conroy type of people who get really loud into their voice and who try to over-explain things and try to be quirky for the sake of quirky. That's also just as bad and also has just as much attempts to fail and end up being like, yeah, I could watch this or I could just watch Chugger Conroy. You know, there are people who will try to act like Game Grumps, people who will try to act like Markiplier, people who will try to act like whoever, and they all fall into the same pit trap of being like, there's no point in watching this when the original exists. And 9 times out of 10, if you're new, the original's better.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because they've had experience, right?
Right.
So find what you can do. Find what you're specifically good at. Find whatever your niche is, whatever your style of commentary is, whatever games you'd like to play, and figure that out first. Because here's the thing. The first episode of your Let's Play series, you're not going to have it figured out. The second episode, you're not going to have it figured out. The first series, you're not going to have it figured out. The second series, you're not going to have it figured out. Maybe by the third series, you get lucky and you understand where you're coming from when you're like, oh, this is kind of what I like doing, and this is kind of, you know, fits my personality. Or maybe it takes 4 or 5 series before you're really like, okay, now I finally know who I am, what I'm about, what type of games I like to play, what my commentary style is, and sort of my role on YouTube as a whole is. But you're not going to find that just starting out, and you're not going to find it by copying anybody. So that's probably my number one piece of advice. I could get into technical stuff, and I could get into other aspects of it, but nothing to me is going to be more important than you trying to find out what kind of Let's Player you are, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. When it comes to, like... So I did a video last year on the gaming channel that I need to, like, migrate to the newer channel. And it's called Three Steps to Being Original. And it takes advice from a jazz trumpet player named Clark Terry when it comes to improvisation, which is basically in jazz music, when a jazz musician goes to give a solo, they perform music on the spot. It's instantaneous composition.
Oh, okay.
So he says that, like, the art of learning jazz, the art of learning improvisation, a lot of people will just think, okay, well, these musicians, they just go up there and they just play whatever they want to play just for the hell of it, and that's their solo. But it really comes down to a lot of learning music like a language. And I think this can be also applied to Let's Plays, to videos in general. And that's why I made a video about it about a year ago. But he has this 3-step process that can be summed up into 3 words: imitation, assimilation, and innovation. So imitation is basically where it all begins. If you're a Let's Player and you've been watching Let's Plays for the last 2 years, for the last few months, you just decided you wanted to start making Let's Plays, you're going to start off your Let's Plays with little bits and pieces of other Let's Players that you've already seen. You're going to realize that, hey, I need to start off with an intro, and I should probably say, hey, what's up, guys, or how's it going, or whatever it may be, to your audience. You're going to pick up on little nuances from old PewDiePie, where you might try to overreact when you shouldn't. Or you're going to pick up little things from Markiplier, where you might try to use your voice more often in like a, the way he uses his deep voice to like insinuate certain things. You're going to try to make jokes like the Game Grumps. You're going to imitate a lot. And this is, it's necessary to, unless you've done any kind of live commentary in the past in any sort of way, unless you're a stand-up comedian, unless you're, unless you have some kind of background and speaking a lot off the top of your head, this is what you're going to end up doing. You're going to be imitating these people.
And oftentimes it's subconscious too. A lot of
100%.
People, even if you go in with the intention of not trying to copy anyone and you're as pure as can be, subconsciously you're going to pick up on little things that you might not even notice. But granted, there's still a difference between subconsciously picking up like little nuances and little bits and straight up intentionally trying to copy somebody, right? There's a huge difference there.
And what we'll go to see is that when you're attempting to be your own person when Let's Play, when you're attempting to, or again, any video in general, as a content creator, imitation is the first step. It's not the final step. Because you don't want to be a copycat. You don't want to be a clone, because again, like you said, why watch a great value PewDiePie when I can just go watch the real thing? And then the second step is assimilation. So it means taking all of these different nuances and styles and little bits and pieces from everything you've learned, everything you've been imitating, and putting them together. So, instead of copying Markiplier in your entire video and trying to act like him, you're probably going to have a couple of little things here and there that he typically does. And you're going to have a couple of little things here and there from the Game Grumps. And again, all these different sources, and you're going to assimilate them into like your own personality. And
Makes
then
sense.
The third is innovation, which is where we all strive to be in anything we do. We want to be original. We want to create something new. And that's where, after doing this thing for so long, you kind of start becoming more and more yourself, and you start putting out more and more quote unquote original material, or whatever it may be. I definitely said all of that a lot better in the scripted video that I made, but that's kind of a little rundown of the whole thing.
That makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
You kind of have to know the lingo and the language before you can try and come up with anything new or interesting, at least.
Exactly.
which is not to say that you can't like go in blind and do it. I've seen some examples of that, and they're always really fun and really interesting to watch because like they have no inspiration at all. So they just kind of like get thrown in there, and you're like, "What is this video? I don't even know." But you know, like things like an intro, things like an outro, things like, you know, kind of getting back on topic if you need be, or taking a bit and expounding upon it. You know, these are often seen as tropes, and, you know, they can be seen in a negative viewpoint, but oftentimes it's just like a good thing. It's critical for the audience that's watching your stuff that they kind of have a beginning, middle, and end at the very, that they kind of have a beginning, and middle, and end for each episode that they're watching. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that each video they watch makes them feel at least somewhat satisfied, like they didn't waste their time here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's where learning the language and the lingo of Let's Plays is helpful.
Definitely. It's, you know, again, it's just taking a lot of what you've already watched and trying to make it yourself. Like, because one of the things that, you know, nowadays, if I want to watch a Let's Play, I don't think I ever look up the game anymore. I typically have my set, you know, Let's Players that I watch. I go see if they've done a game that I might be interested in watching, and then I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because their personality is what I'm coming for. I'm not going for the game anymore. Sometimes, maybe, but not all the time. So I want to get into talking about commentary, which, I mean, we've already been kind of mentioning.
Going that way.
How do you provide commentary in Let's Plays? What is your method?
So, from the very beginning, for me even, because I kind of grew up watching a little bit of that older generation of Let's Players, you know, my commentary at the start was very much an informative thing. Okay. And in a certain extent, it kind of still is. You know, there's still a little bit of that desire for me to talk about the games that I'm playing and give a little bit of information on them. Right. And, you know, their impact and stuff like that. It would be different if I was more of a Let's Player that, like, played modern games, just because it's so new and there isn't a lot of available knowledge on it. Right. But because of the fact that I typically Let's Play retro games 9 times out of 10. You know, people often come into it not knowing anything about that game.
That is
come
true.
Into it not knowing a darn thing, or why this game was special, or why this game was entertaining or interesting. Because they're looking at it from the perspective of like 2016 or 2017. You know? A game like F-Zero or Kirby Superstar isn't impressive to anybody who's played God of War, GTA, or Destiny. Right? It can be kind of hard to relate to that. And so oftentimes when I'm playing games, I very much have the desire to just inform and tell people what about this game is special, what about it's interesting to me, where it's at historically, you know, when did it launch, what about this game was innovative and new, why do people still go back to play it, what were the sequels like, what was the reception like, what was this legacy like. And I'm already a big nerd for like game history and, you know, stuff like that. So if I get the opportunity to talk about it in Let's Plays, 9 times out of 10, I do it. But yeah, I was very, very informative to start out, even in my older stuff, you know, even in like early days of me recording on a laptop. I remember I did an episode of Super Mario World, which is now like a bonus episode on Blue Couch Productions, where I was just like, for the first episode, talking about the Super Nintendo launch and talking about the introduction of Yoshi and, you know, the new aesthetic and all that sort of stuff. I like doing that. I like talking about that sort of thing. Now, granted, as the years have gone on, I've tried to find a little bit more of a balance. I've tried to be a little bit more entertaining. I've tried to be a little bit more off the wall. I try not to overload people with information all the time. I used to be very bad at that. So there definitely is a little bit more of a balance now. But I typically lean more toward the informative side. That's where I provide a lot of my value. Sometimes a good bit of entertainment, a dumb joke here and there, but mainly on the information side for me.
That's interesting. Because I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't bad at all. And that's what we'll go to see, is that both sides of the, there are people that love the informative side way more than the comedic side or the entertaining side. And again, that doesn't mean you're not entertaining, because you are very entertaining when you talk about informative stuff as well.
Right.
So I think that's important to kind of put out there, that you can be one or the other, or you can be a mixture of both. Personally, because I grew up with not many games, not having a whole lot of knowledge, and just being so many games that I wanted to play that I didn't get a chance to play until I, got around to Let's Playing them. I have gone into 99% of my Let's Plays blind. Meaning I've never picked the game up before. Most of these games I've never even seen anything of before. And so I use the game and its elements to kind of push me in the direction of where I'm gonna go with the commentary. It's 99% improv. Sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse.
Right.
Just depends on the the day and everything.
You gotta find the diamonds in the rough, the winter episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. Every Let's Play that I've done, aside from one, has been a game that I've already played before and typically already love. Dark Souls was the only example of a blind LP, and it's the only one I haven't finished.
Yeah, because you didn't.
If that goes to show you anything.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I did live Let's Plays of the Pokemon games, but those were streams, and they were already series that I were familiar with and knew the mechanics to.
Right. That makes sense.
So it's interesting to hear where you're coming from, where you're like, yeah, I don't know what type of game this is. Let's go. Sure.
Yeah. And I think I also find it enjoyable to just kind of talk about whatever. I like the ability to see something in a game and it reminds me of something else in another game, or it reminds me of something in real life, and then I'm able to make like an off-the-wall joke about it, or maybe it brings up a story. Like, I really like that improv aspect of it, because that's what it is. It's improv.
Oh yeah.
Now, if I know something about the game, I'll bring it up. If I feel like I can provide some kind of information that that's important, I'll bring it up. And then while I'm playing the game, as I'm learning stuff, if the audience brings me new information, then I'll bring it up. So again, having that balance is definitely there during certain games.
Do you feel like you've, in recent years, kind of gotten a bit of both, or you still lean heavily that way, or what do you think's changed for you?
As I play more newer games, I think it's still more improv than anything. Mm-hmm. I think I've gotten a lot better at it, because I used to not. My commentary used to be just nothing. It wasn't important. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. It was just there. Which is the case for a lot of Let's Players starting, by the way.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's true. I say that to let everybody know that if you feel like your commentary isn't anything like that, it could very well be nothing, and that's fine, because eventually you're going to get used to doing commentary.
It takes that experience. It takes the effort of actually coming up with those first couple of series that are probably going to suck. In order to get something that's, watchable.
Yeah.
Or slightly entertaining.
Some of my favorite videos, Let's Play wise, that I can't particularly remember because there's so many of them, are Binding of Isaac videos. Because it's a game that I can talk a decent amount about now just because I've gotten so into it. But then I can also just talk about literally anything on my mind. Because the way the game's built, it's like every episode is just a different game. Mm-hmm. And so it gives you that opportunity to kind of just talk about whatever that's going on in your life, and that can be very cathartic.
A little bit of therapy.
A little bit of therapy, definitely.
In a game where Isaac definitely needs some therapy. At least you're getting something.
For real.
Oh, that's funny. That's
That
cool.
is.
But yeah, that's interesting though, because I don't often get to hear that other side of it. You know, I talk to a lot of people who do kind of lean more in that information circle, either because they watch my stuff and like my stuff, or you know, are maybe the types of channels that I enjoy. Which, like, you know, now that I'm looking at my subscriptions, a lot of mine, for the most part, are kind of more of that entertaining side of it. I would say as a viewer, I probably watch a lot more of, you know, that kind of stuff than I do information things.
Right.
I watch a lot more Super Mega and Oni plays than I ever do, you know, Nintendo Capri Sun or Chugga Conroy. That's just me.
Yeah.
So, like, just because I make a certain type of content, my viewing patterns don't always correlate in a nice little neat way.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
That's fair. I mean, certain days I would much rather watch a Game Grumps video where I know the game's not going to be talked about almost at all. And then other times I would rather watch an old Nintendo Capri Sun video where I know he knows about Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time so much that he can tell me every little thing about it, but also be very entertaining.
Sure. People like Beer Bros with trivia, Pro Jared plays. Pro Jared typically gets in that stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, depending on what you want to find. There's, again, so many channels out there.
Right. Yeah, which is nice. It's one of those... It's literally one of those genres on YouTube that you can find something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Something cringy.
Yeah.
A lot of cringe. Something Minecraft. You can find a lot of Minecraft.
Boy.
But also something good, something thoughtful, and something entertaining.
Right.
All in one. Through like 10 years.
Exactly. And what that means is that even though already there's kind of something for everybody, that doesn't mean that your personality isn't going to be what somebody might want to watch.
Exactly.
Which is good to know. It means you're not wasting your time completely.
It feels very comforting.
It does.
The genre of Let's Plays are so deep that like channels exist talking about Let's Play channels.
It's crazy.
Or channels could exist talking about the state of like, you could make a channel about all the Ocarina of Time Let's Plays and just try to like watch and cover them all, because there's so much content there that you'll never run out of stuff. You won't.
That is true.
If you really wanted to. If you really wanted to go that deep into it, the genre of Let's Plays got you covered. You're not going to find another one with that much history behind it. At least, on any other platform, not YouTube.
I kind of want to do a video project where, like, I go through so many different Let's Plays and try to find, like, just certain ones that are super unique. Things that you wouldn't think would exist. Because, you know, there's got to be so many, there's got to be like a lot of weird Let's Play stuff that you wouldn't think
I'm sure
could be a thing.
I am sure if we go deep down the rabbit hole, it'd be a fun.
And not
fun
even
trip.
like cringy stuff or bad, you know, or really bad stuff. Like obviously there's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like genuinely super interesting stuff that you just wouldn't. Like I'm sure there's like some famous video game developers out there that's Let's Play their games. And that's got to be super interesting to watch, you know?
Yeah, that's a new perspective.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to watch for sure.
But yeah. I mean,
commentary is cool, man. I don't know. And it's definitely, you know, for all the bad rap Let's Plays get at the time, commentary can often very much be like the one saving grace, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even if Let's Plays are overdone, even if a game that's being played isn't worth your time, or is bad, or is overrated, or all this other stuff, or even if you don't like the channel as a whole, right? The commentary can always be there to provide something interesting, something new, something weird, something wacky, or make you learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're a channel out there that maybe like don't see yourself ever doing Let's Plays, I will say, even if you make a couple of them, your improv skill will probably go up. And that skill and commentary can transfer to so many different types of videos.
Oh, 100%. Even
can
in
be
life.
so helpful. And even in life, yeah.
Dude, like you ever like with a bunch of friends and you're like, man, I really wished I was funny. I wish I could tell stories that make people laugh. Like you see that one friend in your friend group that's like always got some wacky, crazy story.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do Let's Plays, you're that friend. Like it just happens naturally. I can't tell you how much like doing Let's Plays have like built my not only like further develop my own personality, but like built my confidence and built my ability to like speak in public and
right.
Do improv and that kind of stuff.
Because that's another thing about Let's Plays too, about like other types of content in general. They're very genuine. There's no curtain there. There's no behind the scenes, post-production, all this other stuff to where you get like a really super polished product. They're very raw. They're very genuine. They very much, they're almost like a mirror to the person who's making them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's no facade there. There's nothing. Let's Plays can live or die on their own, right? Without anything else getting in the way of that. So imagine being in the position where you have to record a Let's Play and record a series like that, where literally like this video could be amazing or awful simply based on the commentary that I gotta do and stuff like that. Like, it puts you into the role of the performer, of the entertainer. It throws you right out on stage, whether you're ready or not, prepared or not. And it's a trial by fire a lot of the time.
Oh, definitely.
But the benefit of that is that you'll learn a lot faster doing it other ways. Like if you had made a class about like commentary. I mean, you could do that and you could watch that. Mm-hmm. But what if you just like made a Let's Play series instead? You'd probably learn a lot more from having to do it yourself and being thrown onto that stage like that in an environment where you don't have post-production and crazy editing to save you.
Right.
I appreciate that genuineness and that rawness of Let's Plays a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you really get to see a person be a person. Like, I mean, it's some people try to play a character and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sure. But at the end of the day, like your personality is going to shine through the video. Again, for better or for worse. What are some, for anybody getting started with commentary and maybe they're, I guess for informative stuff, because that's what you're more inclined to do yourself, what tips would you give people to like make sure that their commentary isn't garbage?
Well, that's under the assumption that I think my commentary is great.
Fair enough.
Which I still, I like where it's at currently. But I'll be the first person to tell you that I could improve in so many aspects, right?
Oh, we all can.
Sure. I think what I'll say as far as like if you want to add informative value to Let's Plays and stuff like that, going ahead and learning a little bit about the game before you start isn't a bad idea. Doing a little bit of research beforehand isn't a bad idea. And, like, if you don't want to do that, then maybe play a game you already know, right?
Yeah.
Play a game you know well, and that's going to allow you to showcase that passion, Because a lot of people will try to do informative Let's Plays on popular games, but not ones that they love. And there's a very distinct difference between that. You can give information on Ocarina of Time all day long. But if you don't love Ocarina of Time, then you're the teacher at school. And you're not the cool friend giving you trivia or fun facts, right?
That's a really good point, yeah.
Right? Definitely. That's not engaging to anybody. That's not interesting to watch. I play games that I love. I play games that I like. I wouldn't stand up and sit on a soapbox for The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages or Seasons because I haven't played those games. I don't know what they're about. They could be good. I think Kyle likes them. I don't know what that means. In the same way, that I wouldn't be like Marjack and be like, Nier Automata is the best game ever. Haven't played it. Don't know. Right?
Exactly.
Could be right. He could be wrong. I don't know. But when you hear me talk on, the recent Nerdcast episode about how I love Mario Odyssey, that passion comes from me having played that game. That knowledge comes from me wanting to learn more about it. And if you're passionate about certain games and you want everybody to know what this game is about, you want to educate, you want to tell people, you want to let them know about all the cool little ins and outs and things that you personally find fascinating. If you're able to do it in a passionate light, the facts can be boring, but if you're able to do it in such a way where people can feel that passion coming off you, it'll be entertaining regardless, my friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes into like one of my pieces of advice is for your first Let's Play, pick a game that you love. Pick one of your favorite games of all time, because it'll be at least somewhat interesting because you're going to be able to talk about a game that you love.
No one has your perspective but you.
Exactly.
And it's a lot easier to sell your perspective than Google's perspective or the gaming consensus's perspective. What do you like about this game? What's your connection? Because that connection isn't on YouTube. That connection isn't available at the click of your fingertips or whatever. That's not a Wikipedia article somewhere. That's you, and that's entertaining to some people. To me, to a lot of people.
Right. Well, I mean, and in a world where we're kind of competing with. We're not competing with other YouTubers. We're not competing or with just other YouTubers, with just other Let's Players. We're competing with media. We're competing with the newest blockbusters and the Netflix original series and music and books and other people playing video games. There's got to be a reason for somebody to watch your Let's Play.
Sure.
And if you're not, putting in the passion that it requires, then why would somebody want to watch it?
Yeah, why are you even bothering?
Yeah. Because one thing we forgot to mention, if you want to make Let's Plays for the YouTube money, don't.
That might be
not gonna happen.
Let's Plays might be the quickest path to not make money on YouTube.
Yeah, 100%.
The quickest and easiest way to guarantee yourself that you're not going to make money on YouTube is doing Let's Plays.
Yeah.
more than vloggers, more than, analysis channels or whatever. If you in your mind are like, I'm going to make money doing Let's Plays, you're going to be the easiest and the quickest to disappoint.
Yeah.
Because everybody has had that thought before. Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if you're a gamer or not, you've had that thought before.
I know. I should just make Let's Plays. It means easy money.
It's not even money.
It's not. There's no
not
money.
Easy money, hard money. It's not money at all. Zero of the money coming my way.
Oh, man. It's so true.
Zach's done 6 years of them. I've done 6 or 7 series. Not a dime. Not a dime.
Yeah.
From me.
Okay.
Now we got that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to trying to be more entertaining with your commentary in terms of improv or funny jokes or anything of that kind of sort, I would say number one, be natural. Don't force any jokes. Don't force any kind of anything like that. Be as natural as possible. The more natural you are, the more, the more willing people are going to be to watch it.
Unless being unnatural is your niche and you play it up for ironic, sarcastic value,
right?
Which is also very funny to watch. I love that shit. If you're so uneasy with yourself even while recording, hey man, turn that into something. Because
oh yeah, definitely.
If nobody cares, I'll be the one person to be like, this is fucking hilarious.
The only other time that wouldn't work is if you're playing a character And
Right.
I mean, like here's a niche that like not many people do, and maybe they do. I just haven't seen them. Like if you can impersonate a character or a famous person or something like that, make Let's Plays impersonating that character. Like do that because I can guarantee you people will watch it.
I want the first Elvis Let's Play, my boy. Hit me up.
Dude. Dude.
You said celebrities, that's where my mind went. I'm like, all right.
About to happen.
It's about to be a reality.
So 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
Innovation coming down at another YouTube podcast.
For real.
Real fast.
The next thing would be if you're having trouble like figuring out what you're gonna say, which can be the case. A lot of people kind of have that problem at first. You can do a couple of things. Number one, you can write down what you might want to say. And I don't mean like a script. I don't mean like word for word,
like a bullet point.
That. I mean like a bullet point. Yeah, exactly. Like a list. Like let's say you want to tell a story about what happened at lunch today because it's so funny. You think people would like it. Then make a little list and just be like, yo, here's the story. And then maybe you want to drop in a funny commentary rant about a meme this year that isn't good. Put that
Throw it in there.
Throw it in there. And you don't have to incorporate those in that particular episode. You may figure out there's no way for me to naturally do it, or I just don't really want to talk about it anymore. That's cool. Okay. Just kind of having that little list sometimes does help.
A couple other like little tips that can help with that too is two things I don't think are often, they're not popular suggestions and they're not ones that are going to make me like well loved in the Let's Play community, but I'm going to throw them out there anyway because I've done some of it before. Number one, don't be afraid to be silent a little bit, right? Like don't go dead silence. I'm not talking about that, but I also don't mean talk every single second of the entire LP. Like you can't breathe, right? You can breathe.
I agree.
You can take 3, 4, 5 second pauses. A lot of people get the impression from watching PewDiePie or Markiplier that you got to be like popping out jokes every 2 seconds. Here's the thing, that can get annoying if you're like that, right? You kind of have to have a little bit of a pace there, right? Throw a joke out here, throw a joke out there. Whatever it is, make sure it's natural. And I think a lot of the time as Let's Players, we are often scared to go silent, even for just a couple of seconds. But we shouldn't be. I think it's okay to have a couple of 5-second pauses here and there if you truly have nothing to say or nothing to add. Because filler commentary is just as bad as no commentary at all. To me.
I agree. I agree with that. I do like to give the advice that like you don't want dead air. Sure. But that is different than being silent for a couple of seconds because you didn't have anything to say.
Breathing is important.
Breathing is definitely important. Yeah. Like if you're not breathing because I can't have dead air, like
a little too far.
It's like, come on, man.
But again, that's not a very popular suggestion, but I've done it before. The other one that I'm going to throw out here, and this might give me a little bit more flack too. It's okay to re-record an episode.
Ooh.
I think it's okay to re-record an episode, guys. I get it. People want that hot, funny, realistic reaction the first time. No other substitutes, no other whatever, like one and done, go. But if you're nervous and you haven't done a lot of this before, and if you really hate the video that you just sat yourself through, it's okay to re-record, I think, personally. Again, not a very popular suggestion. But, like, don't fake reactions. I'm not saying that. If you reacted to something in the first take and you don't use it, don't try to recreate that reaction, but do something different. Give it another shot. Maybe come at it from another angle. A lot of people get the impression that Let's Plays are 100% about the reactions and all that sort of stuff. And, if you can provide something else entertaining, then re-recording it can help sometimes. And I wanted to throw that out there in case you were scared of that. Not popular,
I think it definitely depends on the game. Because, there's certain games where it's hard to do that. Like if you're doing like Telltale's The Walking Dead, it's going to be really hard to redo that episode.
don't redo the episode of Doki Doki where the thing happens.
Yeah, like,
And-
you know, but I do agree with you. Like, if for some reason an episode you watch back and you're just like, you know, it just doesn't work for me, feel free to re-record the episode. But I would also say don't do that all the time. You know,
Right.
if you're getting 3-4 episodes into a series and you're re-recording it every time, you just need to truck on and like
that creates a pacing problem when all of them are so segmented from each other.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother issue too.
Not even that, but I think at that point, one of the, well, I mean, I'll go ahead and start going into like this kind of little topic. I think when it comes to Let's Plays, the thing that's going to make you successful at it is to just keep doing it.
Mhm.
Keep doing it so much until you like, you know, you've done 12 series in a year, and now you feel a little bit better about it. Like,
Right.
it's one of those things where, like I said, it's kind of like disposable content. You're not expected to like love the videos you make a year later.
Sure.
And that can kind of suck if you're a romantic in you know, in the creative atmosphere. Like I myself, you know, that's why I started doing more and more like other types of videos, because I wasn't feeling creatively fulfilled with just doing Let's Plays. I still enjoyed doing them, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't fulfillment to me.
All right.
So it is one of those things where, you know, you just kind of keep doing them until you really start to get your way of doing them.
And if you keep doing them, less and less often you'll feel the need to re-record.
Exactly.
Because you'll be so confident in yourself and your style that, you know, you won't need to sit down and be like, oh, this isn't too good or whatever, because you'll figure yourself out by then.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just starting out and you've recorded 6 episodes and episode 7 is just like this shit show, then okay, I'll get that pass, re-record that episode, but don't be doing it like, oh, I missed a joke here, better re-record the entire thing. No. We're talking like mental fatigue, extreme cases of just like, what was I thinking? Or, you know, like extremely dissatisfied with the episode. And you got to think too, we're all our own worst critic. We're going to nitpick the shit out of our own videos more than any other person ever will.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you got to keep in mind the episodes that you think might be trash to somebody, they might be okay. Say, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and another thing is like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I binge watch a lot of Let's Plays more often than not.
Sure.
We're kind of in like this binge watch culture. So like anime has filler episodes. They have nothing to do with the plot. They may be entertaining. They may not be. Not every episode has to be entertaining.
Yeah,
Not
that's
every
another
episode
big
has to be
misconception.
good. You know, if most people that are going to be watching your series are probably going to watch the entire thing at one sitting, or are going to watch most of it at one sitting. And so it's okay to have a not good episode every once in a while.
Yeah, that's a huge misconception that gets thrown around. Not every episode has to be a winner, and not all of them have to be, you know, funny or that informative or, you know, all that stuff.
Right.
You wanna hope and strive for that each series you do has at least 1 or 2 or 10, depending on how long it is, good episodes in it. You want to strive to have a couple of memorable videos out of your series so that it wasn't a complete waste of time.
Of course.
But not every episode needs to be home run, slam out of the park, 1 million views, fucking let's go. Every joke worked, perfect video, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if a video was really that bad and you feel the need to re-record, take that opportunity.
Definitely. I agree with that.
Are there any other big like Let's Playing misconceptions? Because we kind of gotten into a couple of them.
I don't know. I mean, that'd be an interesting video topic as well.
Sure.
I'm trying to think.
Like any lessons you've learned that's kind of like against the popular opinion, I guess.
Well, like, it's kind of more common now, but like back in the day, it was like, why are you, here we go. When I first started Let's Plays, most of my Let's Plays that I'm doing now would have inside the title the word blind in it.
Yeah.
Because they're blind Let's Plays, because I've never played the game before in my life. And that's the very first time me playing it. But now it's so common for people to like play newer games right off the bat and it be blind. It's not really a thing anymore.
Yo, my Dark Souls series has that. The parentheses.
Yeah.
It's the only one that does, though, to be fair.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Culture changed, my dude.
Yeah. People would be like, why are you doing blind Let's Plays? Like, I was literally told early on, it was like, why don't you play games that you know so that your commentary is better? And I was like, you're right. But your boy don't know many games.
Sure. And well-known doesn't equal entertaining sometimes, right?
That's true, yeah.
There are some games that all Let's Players have tried that they think are going to be the standout, really funny game that they know from their childhood, and then just ends up kind of being boring, you know, typical, not very much new stuff added, and just right? But you never know until you try, until you make that effort.
Exactly.
And sometimes that means like going outside of your comfort zone and doing a blind LP, or going outside of your comfort zone and playing a game from your childhood that you think might be funny or interesting. Stuff like that. There's a big balance to all of this. You may think we might have like contradicted ourselves several times here.
Probably.
Like, Let's Plays don't lean. Let's Plays aren't one thing or the other. They're very much like a blend of all sorts of elements. There are channels that have like 75% this and 25% that and all this other stuff. But it's never 100% one thing.
Right.
There's so many little elements that go into it, from the way like you title your videos to how your thumbnails are done, whether or not you add graphics, your commentary style. Is the gameplay good? Is it running off an emulator? Is it running off an actual console? Is it co-op? Is it whatever? Like, so many little things that potentially make Let's Play series stand out from each other. Even time. Time is just a huge factor. Let's Plays recorded in 2015, you know, like it or not, they're going to be different from ones in 2018, my dude, you know?
Yeah,
Opinions
definitely.
were different. Gaming culture was different. And it's really interesting to look back at as a time capsule. But is it going to be better than your newer stuff? Maybe, maybe not. It's interesting. But the point I'm getting at is, like, there's definitely a balance to Let's Plays, as is with all videos. You gotta find that balance that works for you.
Right, because like if you're not happy with it yourself, other people aren't going to be happy with it.
Yep.
And that, you know, that kind of goes to say with all videos that you make on YouTube, I think. You really do need to be happy with your final product. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that doesn't mean it's perfect.
Yep.
At all. I don't think I've ever had a perfect video.
Same.
Maybe like a 20-second meme, but then you're like, but that's not real content, Zach, and you're right. But at the end of the day, like, when it comes to Let's Plays, play the games that make you happy, play the games that interest you, try to do the commentary, you know, like you're talking to somebody that you know, like you're talking to a friend rather than just an audience. That seems to help me a lot. And just do a lot of them, because when it comes to being successful, quote unquote successful as a Let's Player, the thing you have to do is you have to put out content every day.
Yeah.
It's an everyday thing. It's not even like you can get away with 3 videos
every day. Every day.
It's every day.
In 2018, every day consistent parts. That's just a rule. Maybe even 2 if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
2 or 3. You know?
I would say 2 videos a day. If not 2 videos a day, you should be streaming too. Like it's that serious if you want to make it, you know, if you want to be serious about Let's Playing. And which maybe means you shouldn't be serious about Let's Playing. But you know, if that's your passion, if that's what you want to do and you don't want to make any other kind of videos, then it is something that you can be successful at it if you're doing it enough.
A lot. You know, what may take me or Zach 1,000 videos to like hit that peak or whatever of like popularity in mainstream culture. If you're a Let's Player, times that by 10.
Oh yeah.
Times that by 10.
I mean, one of my favorite Let's Players is a guy named Northern Lion. He's been around for like 10 years. He's got like 600,000 subscribers, and he puts out 6 videos a day.
Mm-hmm.
And he does Binding of Isaac every day.
Yep.
But he also does all these other games, and some of them are just stream compilation or just like cut from streams. Some of them are, series that he's doing. It just 6 videos a day, which sounds ridiculous. But number one, because of the format of videos that they are, we're talking about 20-minute, 30-minute videos at most. You can get all of your content done within a weekend and have the rest of the week to yourself.
Done.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's one of those things that, like, if you need to pad out content on your channel while you're doing other bigger things, you can do Let's Plays.
Right.
You don't have to be a Let's Play exclusive channel. So
just take different approaches with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we were talking about like doing one Let's Play part a day, I know someone out there listening to this podcast when we said that was like, oh, that's too hard. That's way too much. And here's the thing, not even that hard.
No, not at all.
Not even that hard. Not even if you for 1 second when we said that statement of having one Let's Play part out a day and you thought that's way too difficult, then you're not a Let's Player.
It's just not for you. And that's fine.
Or you're not going to be a successful one. You can do a Let's Play as like a hobby or a side passion or whatever. You're not gonna reach successful status. I will say the trade-off of like you have to do one Let's Play part a day and it's all the same content. You got to record them all in batches and all that sort of stuff. The trade-off you get with that is a fairly consistent and easy roadmap to success, right?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do tomorrow? Another Let's Play part. When are people going to watch it? Same time. What am my audience expecting? This video. When are they going to watch it? Here. When do I got to put up the comments? Here. If you like consistency, if you're the type of person who is scheduled beyond all reason, Let's Plays must be like your jam.
Mm-hmm.
You can control practically everything about it if you really wanted to, from like pre-production all the way down to post and when they come out fairly easily. And that's a cool trade-off, right? We don't often get that luxury. Me and Zach often don't get that luxury when we're doing things like recaps, top 10 lists, channel update videos, highly produced content, even podcasts and analysis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that luxury of knowing how are we going to make this consistent. We have to think that up. How are we going to get this series, trending? When are we going to put it out? How many of them are we going to be able to do? Can we consistently keep making them? All these questions that circle around our heads. If you're a successful Let's Player, you already know all the answers, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Next part. Next series.
It's literally like the path to being a successful Let's Player starts at just putting out like 2 videos a day for 3 years. And then like while you're doing that, because it's so easy to maintain, you're working on like, when I do get enough viewers, how am I going to sell merchandise? When I do get enough viewers, how am I going to go touring now? Because big Let's Players are doing that. How am I going to go do these other things? When am I streaming? Like it's literally that easy. Once you've done it for a few months, you're going to be able to start moving on to bigger and better things.
Right. There's no questioning about what the future of my channel, right? You know the future. You're good. You're good. That's not to say there aren't tough decisions. And that's not to say there's no hardship involved. We've listed a lot of the hardship in this video alone. There's so many Let's Play channels. It's an oversaturated market. People are copying each other. A lot of the same games are covered. Commentary can be pretty difficult. There are a lot of faults to it. But planning and, having that roadmap, not one of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Not one of them.
Yeah. So I mean, we could get into talk about like SEO in terms of Let's Plays, but I think that's just going to be SEO in general.
Sure.
We could get into talk about like making sure your thumbnails are good, but again, like that's just kind of YouTube in general. A lot of the basics of YouTube still applies to Let's Plays.
All right.
And I don't think we really need to like iterate that stuff.
I will say
and over again. Mm-hmm.
I will say a lot of those basics and stuff like that in their purest form, oftentimes are going to be found in Let's Play parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can make a good thumbnail in a Let's Play, you can make a good thumbnail other places, right?
Oh yeah, it's so much easier to make a other thumbnails than it is Let's Play thumbnails sometimes.
Sure. You know, a lot of those basics and a lot of those key features that YouTube loves so much, consistency, longer form content, you know, catchable thumbnails, catchable titles. If you're able to master them with Let's Plays, those skills can be expounded upon and brought to other places. And I think that's another cool little benefit to Let's Plays as a whole. You know, if you want to... It's almost
like... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If you want to start learning that stuff, Let's Plays are a good place to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like that's one of the reasons why Let's Plays kind of dominated the platform for a couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it fit the algorithm really, really well.
And that's sort of what I wanted to move into, at least. I want to talk about it briefly. I don't know for how long we want to, or however, we'll just see.
Yeah.
But Zach, what's the future hold for these little videos? Yeah. And we're not gonna... This isn't like a genie prediction video. We're not gonna guess the future right now. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk. Where are they going? Where do you think we're going?
I think the future's almost kind of happened here with Let's Plays. They're not, you know, at one point it was peak entertainment on YouTube. Everybody was going to YouTube to watch Let's Plays. They were rewatching Let's Plays. They were, you know, it was kind of this like this phenomenon here for a couple of years. I think now, and what the rest of the future is going to be, and I said this earlier, Let's Plays are disposable content that you watch them once, then you move on to the next one because there's so many of them. And maybe you get interested in watching one of them because you're looking up for help for a game, but then you just type in walkthrough. So why would you, you know, it's one of those things. It's like your
bread and butter. It's bread and butter to a YouTube well-balanced meal. Gotta have your bread in there. No one likes it, and no one like is gonna rate the bread the highest out of everything, you know? Like, hey chef, the lobster and all that was pretty good, but that bread, man, ooh, you know?
For real.
No one's gonna say that. But at the same time, you know, you have to have it there, right? You have to have it there for days when you don't have anything going on. You have to have it there if you focus on Let's Plays, or, you know, if you need content in between other things, right? It's bread and butter. It's not sexy. But at the same time, like, they're necessary. They're necessary almost, especially if you're on the gaming side of things.
I think it's one of those things where it's like the Today Show or the Tonight Show. It's those things that happen every day, and you expect them to happen every day, and you'll probably watch them every day, but it's not like the thing you're looking forward to necessarily when it comes to watching them.
Right.
I think it's a great place to start as a YouTuber.
Oh, agreed.
I think if you're interested in gaming and you're interested in making videos, it's like the perfect place to start. But I don't think, you know, if you have bigger aspirations and you want to do more, I don't think you should feel like you would be forced to stick with Let's Plays.
Exactly. I'm exactly 100% the same way. If you want to get into it, go right ahead. I wouldn't point you toward a better direction. But once you've reached that point where you feel like you've gotten all the value that you can out of it, feel free to move on, my man. Because the world will not wait for you. Right? YouTube will not wait for you. As soon as you're ready to move on and make that decision, by all means, nothing will hold you back there. If you still love doing it, keep doing that as well.
Right.
Like, don't stop if you still want to make them. But if you've gotten what you want out of it creatively, then do other stuff. But don't look back on it and be like, man, these were a waste of time. Don't look back on it and be like, man, I really wish I didn't put out these Let's Play parts. Nah, man, that's part of your history. That's part of you. That's part of your legacy. That's part of your YouTube journey. That's steps to growing into bigger and better things, and that stuff should be appreciated. That stuff should be watched. It should be set as an example to other people and prove that even big channels and channels that have gotten to big ridiculous heights all started out somewhere, my dude. All started out with a shitty webcam, a shitty microphone, recording an indie game or an emulator somewhere out there. You know, like, don't. A lot of people want to delete their old stuff like that, and I'm like, nah, I wouldn't trade that shit for the world. Not for the world, my dude.
I deleted some of my old stuff, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I hated myself for it. I mean, it was garbage. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
They weren't good videos.
None of it's good.
Right. I still hate not having it there because you know how awesome it'd be like to look at the very first video that I made.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be really cool.
Sure.
Or the very first Let's Play I made, I guess I should say.
There's like some flip camera videos I no longer have access to that were like early days of like improv and comedy that I wish I still had.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's part of your history, man. But was that all you had for the future of Let's Plays?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's one of the... I think YouTube is going to continue to almost ignore the gaming side of YouTube more and more. I don't think it'll ever get back to the 2012 era of Let's Plays or of gaming content. I think if you want to be successful quicker, you should do non-Let's Play content alongside them. You should be doing anything else. And yeah, I mean, if it's the gaming side of things that you want to get into, but not particularly Let's Plays, there's still so much more you can do. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. Yeah, they're fun to do. It was one of those things that I started with and I continued with, and now it's funny because it started as a hobby. And then I started trying to move YouTube more so than just a hobby. And yet the Let's Play side of things is still just a hobby to me. You know?
It all comes around.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm a bit more cynical, I guess, when it comes to that Let's Play stuff. I'll agree with you in saying that we're definitely not at the peak of the mountain anymore. I think I have a little bit more of a negative mindset where we're going further down the mountain at this point.
I think so too.
Where we're kind of at least declining in a popularity. I'm also kind of cynical in the fact that like once YouTube does another weird algorithm change and once Let's Plays stop becoming popular, that people will move on. And a lot of people have moved on. You know, there's a reason PewDiePie isn't a Let's Playing channel anymore. There's a reason that
true.
People like Super Mega, Noni Plays, and Game Grumps, despite the fact that they are mostly Let's Plays, still have to do other stuff to be relevant. Still have to do other stuff to, you know, make sure that they're watched and have a fan base and stuff like that. They definitely don't hold the power that they used to anymore. And I think that power will sort of decline as years go on. Will they ever stop or will they ever be replaced? I don't know, man. That's a tough thing to predict and even try to figure out. I think the safe bet is that they will probably become a lot more less relevant. And I think on the gaming side, people are going to find other forms of content that fill in that role nicely. My money at the moment is on streams doing that. But also just with all the gaming analysis content and review content, like kind of becoming big these days. Weekly web produced shows like Peanut Butter Gamer, Space Hamster, The Completionist, you know, not Let's Play stuff, but sort of produce stuff about games. Seeing that become more and more prevalent and relevant. I think it'll do a nice job of filling that role. That being said, there will be a place for Let's Plays somewhere, somehow, wherever. But will it be popular anymore? That I'm a little bit more cynical on.
I agree. I mean, we kind of see this thing where it's like you said, a lot of the Let's Players have moved on. There are beginning to move on. I mean, I see like Markiplier. He's gonna be an actor one day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just gonna happen. I mean, he's already been taking those steps to do that. I mean, PewDiePie is not doing Let's Plays anymore. He streams stuff and he plays games every once in a while.
Jacksepticeye tours, like, there's so many examples.
Yeah. Like, you've got to, even if you're already popular from doing it, you've kind of got to do more and you got to do different things. And that's not a bad thing, and I don't think at all. It's just, it just shows you that times change.
Expectations just for content in general have grown so much on YouTube in the past several years that it wouldn't surprise me if someone thought like Let's Plays were like the lowest form of content out there. And some people already do think like that.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not that person to say. I more of go along Zach's line of thinking where it's sort of like filler, bread and butter. I wouldn't put it as like the lowest of the low.
Right.
But there are people out there who view it that way, and that's only going to become more prevalent as expectations grow and the platform evolves. Unfortunately.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a bad thing, Like, it kind of sucks because, especially if you've grown up with the medium, it's just kind of been this thing that you've had with your, for a lot of people, even their childhood. Like, I mean, this was my middle school. This was my high school. And, as I continue to grow and be, get more into the adult world, whatever that is, it's kind of weird to see that Let's Plays are not as big as they once were.
Right.
And again, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Only time will tell, my boy.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Because there's still certain video formats that we haven't seen yet. There's still certain genres of video we haven't seen yet. And I'm curious to see,
if someone
how
will
things turn out.
Who knows? Maybe like a new form of Let's Play will come up and that'll be all the rage and it'll live on through that, We don't know.
Yeah.
Sure. Could happen.
I've been thinking for like the last 2 years, I've been trying to come up with some kind of new format of Let's Plays, and it has not happened yet, but
with as many channels doing Let's Plays, like mathematically we're only bound to see that happen. Like the odds of that happening are probably pretty big.
Right. Like it can't be the end yet.
Sure.
Like there's got to be something new that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah. We're not off the mountain yet. I'll say that.
Right. Like, I mean, VR stuff is kind of like the newest thing I can think of.
The new hotness.
The new hotness. And even that's kind of been going down lately, which is interesting.
I'll tell you, I haven't gone as far as to remove like the Let's Play tag off my channel banner where it says Blue Couch Productions. It says under it reviews, vlogs, streams, and Let's Plays.
Okay.
And I definitely haven't gone as far as to just stop doing them. Like I said on Another Week on YouTube,
right.
They've been very helpful for me. I respect a lot of what they were able to provide.
Definitely.
So just know that even with my kind of grim look at it, that like your boy's still going to get value out of it in 2018. I'm not going to leave that on the table. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you guys should either.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like still in this weird spot where I've thought about stopping to do them just because of it doesn't take a lot of time to do them. But because of all the other things that I'm trying to pursue, it is hard to keep a balance between both channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I can just kind of like push on just a little bit longer, I can get to the place where I can like hire somebody to edit my Let's Plays for me. Like that's the dream right there.
You essentially want someone to run Ceviche games, is what you're telling me.
Well, I mean, I'm still streaming and shit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and there's still like
half of it.
Right. Like I want to do like versus type stuff and other like gaming challenges and all that, but like I would love if I could just get somebody to edit my Let's Plays for me. So if you're if you're out there and you're like, hey, I want to get into Let's Plays, got a non-paid opportunity for you.
Think of it like an internship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll teach you everything you need to know about making Let's Plays.
We'll put you on the podcast. That's payment. There you go.
Absolutely.
I'll guarantee you an episode on this podcast.
Definitely. 100%. Not joking.
We're not lying.
Joking, but not joking.
I'm not lying there. If you want to plug your own shit in this podcast, we will let you.
Yes.
Not the whole time, obviously, but you know, I don't know. I mean, hey, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that YouTube intern life.
Hell yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
But I don't know. Do you have any kind of final words about Let's Plays?
I think sometimes we can get to the mindset where they're just not creatively satisfying anymore.
Yes.
And that can definitely suck. But sometimes you have to push that feeling to the side to get content out for the day. And
that is true.
I've struggled with that a lot. And if you guys are going out there and making Let's Plays and are having that same thought, you're not alone, my friends.
I think that's kind of a thing with YouTube and online content creation in general. You get to like the rhythm of everything, and you start pushing out all these creative projects, and you start doing them all the time, and then it's like, well, now what? And the way you can like relieve this is by pushing that feeling to the side, or by trying to do newer creative things that you want to try out.
Sure.
Which is what I tend to do. But also it's like, you got to decide for yourself, you know, like you can be as creatively fulfilling as possible if you don't look at YouTube if you look at it as a hobby and not as like something you want to be successful at.
That helps a lot.
It does. And then on the other side of things, for me, when I started looking at it as almost more like a business, you know, I definitely put a lot more of my creative energy into my other channel rather than my Let's Play stuff. And, you know, again, for better or for worse. I think it's for the better.
Yeah.
I think it's for the better.
I'll agree with that.
You know.
And then the other thing I'll say too is we've kind of hammered this point a little bit, but just to kind of like put that final nail in there. If you are a Let's Play channel and you want to get big doing that is fine. You know, you'll have to be consistent, and that's fine. You should not just be doing Let's Plays. Anybody who gives you that advice that you should only be doing Let's Plays in 2018 is lying to you. You know? And if you want to come debate with that, fine, but it's not true.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. The only way you could justify, hey, I'm just going to do Let's Plays, is if like you're doing 6 videos a day.
Or if someone's paying you to do them.
Yeah, or somebody's paying you to. Even then, I'd say like, hey, you should probably be live streaming too.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Live stream, for one. Yeah. Live streaming is just getting bigger and bigger, and a lot of those skills carry over remarkably well. and can help your Let's Plays, by the way.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't go just one way. But, you know, try other things as well. You know, if you want more easy to produce content, podcasting is a good way. Short little vlogs are a good way. Q&A series are a good way. Obviously, don't take the focus away from Let's Plays, because that's still your bread and butter. If that's what you want to do it.
Right.
But it should never be 100% Let's Plays all the time. At least not in 2018. You could argue with me maybe in like 2015, 2014, whatever. Not in 2018, my friend. You know, if anybody's telling you that, again, they're giving you poor advice.
They're lying to you.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. And we've brought this point up in what feels like 18,000 different episodes of this darn podcast. Diversify. Just any time on YouTube where you feel like you have to go all in on something, 9 times out of 10, that's the wrong feeling. I'm going to go all in on YouTube AdSense. Wrong. I'm going to go all in on one platform. Wrong. I'm going to go all in on one content style. Wrong.
Exactly.
I'm going to go all in on my graphics. Wrong. I need to change them.
Diversify your content, diversify your platforms, diversify your mindset.
Yeah, your creative process, from the ground up. From the ground up.
Yeah. Well, because the more you diversify, the better your things are going to, better everything's going to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is
you'll be happier with yourself too.
Definitely.
That's just a plus for everybody involved.
It's like a little life lesson too.
Yeah. You know, it's weird how the hottest YouTube podcast gets you with that life value sometimes.
Oh, hottest YouTube podcast. You thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Branding.
Branding, exactly. Diversify your branding. You never know who might be listening.
Exactly. One more thing that I wanted to do before I was done with the topic as a whole. Were there any Let's Players in particular that you wanted to shout out, whether big or small, that you think like are just good? They're just good boys. Or girls or females, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. If you really like horror related games, go check out my boy at Oversoul Gaming. He does almost exclusively horror and or VR stuff. And I think he's got some really good videos out there. His commentary style is pretty cool. Check that out. And then I think the other guy that I would mention right off the top of my head is Alonzo the Gamer.
Yes.
Who is just overall like extremely entertaining.
Very funny, man.
He has a really cool editing style. He puts a lot of work into his Let's Plays. Definitely worth the watch if you haven't watched him already. And these are both like really small time guys. So go check that out.
For me, I'm going to do 3 particular sort of smaller channels. The first of which, kind of talking about that same group of people, my boy Darklight Dreamer.
Yes.
Great stuff. He kind of does like horror stuff, but also like RPGs and other things. He hasn't posted in a while.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention him. But he is great. Like if he gets back into...
But there's like a wealth of content that you can watch now, like series and stuff.
Agreed.
There's a pretty big backlog of stuff, and more views going his way is a good thing, in my opinion.
I agree.
His Q&A series is fantastic, too.
Yes, it is.
He's
got a lot to talk about. It's really cool.
Yeah, very interesting, dude. Another one for me, kind of going in the Pokemon realm, is a guy by Purple Fire 99. He started literally last year, I believe in the summer months, like May or June, and he's already at 1,629 subscribers. Has made it
Dude's been killing it.
made it pretty big in the PokeTuber community. So if you like Pokemon Let's Plays, check his stuff out. But, you know, it's weird. What is this? A live stream here? What is it? Every video in the Let's Play, it's bizarre. It's very weird how I've noticed
weird.
that trend.
It's really confusing.
Shiny hunting videos, streams, Let's Play stuff. It's weird. I don't know. And then the last one is definitely probably the smallest out of that group, but one who I want to see continue to do more stuff. I got to give a quick little shout out to my boy Ben, aka the Digital Fortress. He very new, very new. Still has not gotten like everything figured out yet. But when he does, I'm interested, and I'm just proud of him for continuing to make stuff and sort of just follow that route, man. You know, even if it doesn't go anywhere, or if he decides to change his mind or whatever, you know, it makes me feel good. Made me feel very good. He has a couple of episodes of Kirby Planet Robobot, some Pokemon, some Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle if you really want some of that. A lot of stuff there. He literally films his 3DS in a dark room with like a little camera in there, and just like points it at it. But hey,
there you go.
Gotta do.
And then just briefly, I'll go ahead and mention a couple of other people that I know that might listen to the podcast.
Okay, go ahead.
Kyle, the Basilisk, live from the Asylum. Dude's been doing Let's Plays as long as I have, and has not nearly gotten like the amount of attention that he deserves. If you like older style, like retro games, anything like Star Wars related games, all that kind of stuff, he'd be a good fit for you.
It's topical too, because he just today came out with the episode 1 of a new LP, Psychonauts.
There you go.
With a thumbnail done by me. So there you go.
Oh yeah, nice.
I've been doing a couple of his thumbnails here and there.
And Parker, aka Carrionite Gaming, I'll go ahead and bring him up because I've known him for a while as well, and I think he really wants to make this thing work on YouTube, and I think he has a lot of potential.
Yeah. I'll say for him, out of all the people I mentioned, the editing chops on this man, he puts a good bit of work of editing. than probably me or Zach have in a long while when it comes to Let's Play parts.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He takes his Let's Plays very seriously. He will edit them. He will put in memes, gags, or whatever. They may take a while to come out, but when they do, they're a good time. So check out.
Definitely.
Check out
cool.
Is that it? Is that all we have?
There you go. Yeah, I'd say Jay the Zoomster, but he doesn't do Let's Plays right now.
How about Jay the Zoomster Games? My boy. The hottest
channel. Talk about that.
16 subs, not a single video.
Does he have 16? How?
I'm one of them.
I might be one of them because he was like, I'm going to put this over here. And I was like, okay, cool. And
yo, one more quick one, actually.
Yeah.
Hadn't posted in a while as well. But Corn Puff does some cool stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I like her stuff and her vlogs. Holy cow, her vlogs! Like if you were in a bad mood or a bad mental state, that's therapy right there, my dude. there ain't no better way to word that. But yeah, lots of episodes, lots of horror stuff. Like Darklight Dreamer hadn't posted in a while. Probably for the same reason. But yeah, you know, we're not gonna get into that.
There's a little connection there, but
it's weird.
Yeah.
Small channel, 102 subs. Check her out.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Let's Play. I mean, honestly, I could do an entire podcast about Let's Plays, which almost happened.
Really?
And then Aden was like, I don't really want to do an entire podcast on Let's Plays. Let's talk about YouTube in general.
Right.
So how crazy is that? Yeah.
I didn't even remember that. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like me though.
Yeah.
That's
because like we literally could have done an entire episode about commentary alone.
Yeah.
Which I mean we kind of did, but not really. Yeah. So there you go. There's your Let's Play episode.
Completed.
Completed. Yes. If you have any, we don't have any comments this week because your boy hasn't uploaded the last episode yet, so there's no comments on there. It just doesn't exist. If you have any suggestions for topics, if you have any news related topics you want us to talk about, if you have anything whatsoever that you would like us to mention on this podcast that's YouTube related, let us know in the comments. Give us some questions.
We're still going to be on the interview game. Still got a couple of topics that we're going to talk about. I think the big one that's kind of looming over our shoulders right now is the SEO one. But you know, he's scary. He's a scary boy. We kind of pushed him over a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, but it's coming. Interview stuff's coming. And the next time we do this, we'll be reading comments from the past 2 episodes. So, hey, just because they're going to be late, still leave a comment because we'll still read them. Especially if you're on BitChute as well. If you're on BitChute, we'll read them as well.
Yeah, if you're on BitChute, that's awesome.
Don't you mean speak out, Zach?
Speak out? No, they changed it back to BitChute. How funny was that? I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, okay. I don't even use this website anyways, except
right. I'm still done with the platform as a whole. Yeah. It's kind of cool that they changed their name back.
Yeah.
A little bit of props.
In the meantime, like you've listened to this podcast for a while, and if you haven't, think about subscribing. That'll be cool. Also, I'm trying to migrate the last like 15 episodes back over to iTunes and Google Play and all that shit. It's been, I got off of doing that for some reason. I could never, I could never guess why. Life would just be hard at moments.
Fair.
But I'm also going to put everything on Anchor. So if you're listening to us on Anchor, then say hey to us.
Cool.
It'll be cool. So hopefully that gets migrated over in like the next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. I've got a couple of busy things coming up. But
Anchor Collins on this podcast would be so freaking dope. Wouldn't even have to read the questions anymore. They could do it themselves.
Great. So I'm going to assume this video won't be put on Anchor until a couple
Probably
more
not.
episodes are out.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and mention, go follow Zack Snyder Productions on Anchor. The link should be in the description.
Yeah.
If it's not, stay tuned. And because we can start doing call-ins on there, which means you can put your own voice in another YouTube podcast. How dope would that be?
You get to be a part of the hottest, fastest growing, cleanest YouTube podcast on planet Earth. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity, Zach.
It is.
It's amazing.
It is.
It's crazy.
We live in 2018, guys.
In the current year.
Yes. We live in the current year. So anyways, I don't have anything else to say. I'm just kind of bullshitting at this point. I'm ready to kind of go to bed, I think.
Clean.
But I also have like some editing to do. So in the meantime, I've been Aden.
And I've been Zach.
And we want to thank you for listening to this episode of another Flat Earthers podcast.
Flat Earth for life, baby!
Bye!
Bye.